Okay, hello everybody. How is everybody doing today? Welcome Donna, welcome Jason, welcome Casey, and I guess also Joe. Welcome Mark, welcome Neil. How you guys are doing? Are you excited for this call? Okay, welcome Joseph. I don't know if you can hear me yet, but welcome anyways. Okay, let me see here. Stan took his son to the airport, and so I'm not gonna. I don't know if he's gonna make it back in time to talk to you guys about the deal making weekend. If he doesn't, then I'll talk about it. But if he does come back, he'll have some pictures and stuff, so make it a little bit more lively. And so how many of you have been watching the Happy Hour TV? I'm curious. Any of you been watching the Happy Hour TV? If you haven't been, you ought to. Okay. Let me see here. I have awesome news for you. Julio just told me. Julio, one of your classmates here, just told me that after he watched the show today, it gave him I guess it gave him a boost of energy, and he was able to he was able to take on what I told him last before we ended the call. Was act in spite of fear, and so he went and made two offers today, and he got one flex option for a wraparound mortgage and a contract for a wholesale deal, and it's a probate situation, and the executor of that estate has 4 properties that she's trying to sell. So awesome news because of that, and awesome news because of that. And so, definitely, you guys make sure you watch that. Hold on here real quick. Definitely make sure you watch that. Okay, let me see here. Okay, Mark has some good news. He's got owner has agreed to my flex option. We'll pick up tomorrow. That's awesome, Mark. And Mark watches the show after hours. Very inspiring. That's awesome. Casey said, Tim, every time I have something to do with you, I'm excited because you are special. Thank you so much, Casey. And you're very special too. And Casey, maybe I should unmute you, Casey. Let me see if you're there. All right, while we're waiting for Casey to switch over there. Okay, let me see. Some new people came on. Hey, Audrey. Hey, Conrad. Hey, Fiona. Very glad to have you on. Let's see here. Neil, I think I said hi to you already, right? I'll say hi again. All right. Okay, let me see here. Mark said that the energy of the show breaks up the negative energy or fear that generates inside. It's like having a cheerleader there while I work. Yes, I am now officially your cheerleader. Oh, man. What would my parents say if I tell them that I grew up and became a cheerleader? But I am glad to do it. I definitely am. Okay, Fiona, have you been on any of my shows yet? My Happy Hour TV show. I bet if you watch it, you would totally love it. At least watch the replay. I know I don't know. I think 8 a.m. my time is what, like at nighttime still yours, right? So you still be sleeping while I'm on. Um, and yeah, so definitely, go on dodeals.com/HHTV and watch the replay of that, or the replay of the show. It's quite good. I'm actually really very proud of the show. All right, Casey, are you there, sir?
Yes, I am.
Awesome. Oh man, you're so clear now.
That's what an iPhone can do for you. I don't know what happened with the computer.
That's okay. Sometimes the computer does that. That's why I try to call in all the time on the phone, to make sure I have better connection. But yeah, so I was telling everybody, you sent me all of these awesome pictures, and some of them are really inspiring. Some of them are just very unique, very interesting and funny. And I share them to my wife too whenever you send them over. So tell everybody real quick and share with me a little bit about your hobby here and how you collect all of these pictures. Really amazing.
Tim, it's not so much a hobby, it's that I get wonderful emails from friends of mine, and I pass them along to people who I think are special and will appreciate them. And there are only a few people, and you're one of them. Dan's another person I send it to. And I'm really glad that you enjoy them. I like the feedback. But it's because I get them, and I think that they shouldn't stop with me. I think they should go on. It's that kind of thing. It's just like knowledge. You should pass knowledge on to people when you have it. And that's what I do with the photographs that I get. And I really am glad that you are appreciating. And that's why I do it, because I knew you would.
Awesome. Yeah, and I really do. They are amazing. I thought you were maybe into photography or something, and
yes, I am. I am a photographer as well. I haven't sent you any of my work. And the interesting thing is you're putting me on the air now talking about this. I was at Colin Ebert's Web 3.0 this weekend in Las Vegas.
Right.
People you know are too.
Right.
And while Dan was up talking, he also said the same thing and told a whole room full of people about the emails that I send him. I know that he sends those photographs, he passes them on to his parents, and it's just fun, and I'm glad to get the feedback. Thank you. But
yeah,
I do really enjoy photography. It's been a part of my life.
That's awesome. So now I know two things that I'm interested in that you can teach me a great deal of. Number one is swimming. I could swim now. I can swim from one end of the swimming pool to the other end now, but that's about as far as I can do.
No, that's great. That's really wonderful, because if you can do that, then you can continue. All you have to do is it's repetitive. It's just like the business. It's the same kind of thing. Once you do it, repeat what works. And
right.
Then you do 2 laps, you'll do 3 laps, and then you'll find yourself swimming. But what I always joke about you, Tim, is that you love to go to the Philippines, you love to vacation there, and you love and always talk about going scuba diving. You don't know how to swim, but as long as they put the air in the tank on you, you can go down.
Right.
I think that is so much fun. And the other thing that we've joked about is that through you, and also through Carissa, because I was doing something with her, I spoke with you, and I've gotten a virtual assistant through your virtual assistance program. His name is Joe Ark. He's from the Philippines. He's also on this call. And the thing that I learned about from him when we first got to talking was that in college he used to be a swimmer, and he used to give swimming instruction. So he and I joke about the fact that, well, from you, I got him, and from me, well, you can get him too.
Right.
He can give you swimming instructions. So you've put together a real good package deal. That's the way you do things. I like that.
Right. And yeah, I mean, and so besides swimming, yeah, I've been thinking a lot about getting into photography. I mean, I love traveling and I love taking pictures, but I've never got any like real training from them or anything like that. And so yeah, both of those things are things that you can teach me on. So it's pretty, you know, pretty cool.
I'll share that with you. Look, you're sharing knowledge with me and a lot of things that are important. So I certainly share back with you, yeah.
Yeah, awesome. All right. All right, Casey, I'm gonna yeah, good talking to you. I'm gonna mute you out now, and we'll get started for today. Okay?
Thank you very much, and I enjoyed talking with you too.
Yeah, thank you, buddy. All right. Okay, Julio.
Yes, Tim.
Awesome.
Here.
You there now? Good.
Yes,
Okay. Yeah. So so let's kick off today with you sharing about your great results today. Okay. I was telling everybody about what you did this morning and how the how the show energized you, got you excited, got you to just act in spite of your fear and made offers and stuff. So let's share with everybody about that and let's encourage, make sure everybody gets on the show every day.
Okay, thank you, Tim, for the opportunity again to sharing what I did today. Well, I think I don't know, most of you are listening or watching the program in the morning, Happy Hour TV, and then if you review again, and then if you take a review of your notes in the last 3 or 4 times that Tim make this presentation, today I really like it that about what he said about rich people act in spite of fear and poor people are stopped by fear. So for me, it was to see, well, you know what, Julio, today is a challenge. So let's make offers, at least 5 offers was my crazy goal for today. And then I start reviewing all my emails that I sent probably in the last 4 or 5 days. I started making some reviewing my voicemail from my Google Voice in my phone number. And then I started what you said. It's so important making the follow up. The money is in the follow up.
Right.
So I was following one of the owner financing seller that I have. I made my research. I just went to find out what the seller need, and then I start talking to him over the phone. He have a very no really good knowledge of what owner financing means. So finally, we are talking in this way. I think I like your knowledge about this. So I educated the seller what is owner financing, what is down payment, how it work, what is the tax, insurance go to the sellers and everything. So finally, I put everything on the paper according to what I learned with the apprentice group with you, Tim. And then I put everything on the paper. So I say I submit it, and I say, Julio, is that okay? Maybe I can talk to a realtor. Well, so you can talk to a realtor, but it would be better if you talk to a lawyer who understands this owner financing deal. So I want to feel more comfortable, you and I, because he's a lawyer. Okay, that's fine. So I've submitted, and he liked it. And then the other offer I did was a lady just making the follow up as well. She replied me saying that she wanna sell her house. According to the average due deals or the value due deals.com, the value of this property is like $147,000. And then when I see that she was asking for only 36, so I said, wow, there's a huge difference. So I immediately sent a email to Amy, and she ran a comp for me. So far, I still reviewing, but I say, you know what? I'm not gonna lose anything if I send a contract because it's a lot of equity.
Right.
So even though there is a lot of kind of repairs, I put like a $20,000-$30,000 repair. There is a lot of equity. So I prepared my contract, the standard purchase and sale agreement that everybody have available in the real estate forms and the due deals. So I sent it, and I said to the lady, you know, today is your lucky day. Why? Because I make an offer to you. Pero Julio, why are you so fast? Well, because today is your lucky day. And you know what? I want to help you out because you need cash. I'm gonna become, I said, exactly like this. I'm gonna become your doctor in the real estate problems. Oh, thank you, Julio. By the way, I have 4 more houses. What?
Mm.
I say 4 more houses. Maybe, of course, I say, I can help you with this. I can help you with the other 4 1. So I asked you first that if I can submit an offer, even though she's the executor of will. So I sent it. She's happy, and so far I'm happy too. And I think everything is because in the morning it's like I was talking to myself, say, Julio, we're gonna make a great day. We're gonna make a crazy day. We're gonna submit at least 5 offers. We're gonna follow up emails and phone calls and everything. And in less than 8 hours, I've submitted 2 offers, and I feel so happy, so happy. And I think this is the result. What Tim is teaching to us, what you are committed with your goals, and it works. It's not magic, it works.
Right, right. And I mean, the only difference between today and any other day is the simple fact that you decided and said, you know what, I'm just going to act in spite of my fear. I'm just going to make my day to be a crazy day. And and that's it, right? I mean, that's the only difference between this day and any other day.
Yeah, that's right. And honestly, I think every day in the morning I try to get like what I call for me like the strong main idea of your program or of your happy hour TV, and I review. I put it like a little paper reviewer and yelling and shouting to myself and say, "Let's go, Julio. Let's can do it. Get one offer every day, at least one offer a day. I will be happier." And it's working.
Right. That is absolutely awesome. And so, where are these properties?
Both properties are in Houston,
Okay.
and
And
I got it.
just so everybody know, and they might not remember, where are you?
Oh, I'm in Toronto, Canada,
Okay.
and just using the ILG 2.0, the internet lead generator, and then I using as well the do deals, and then I am sending my I don't know, probably in the last week I sent maybe like 200 or 400 emails to the owner financing sellers, and then they reply me. I call, leave a message. I go on email and call and call and call, and finally say, who is this guy calling me all the time, right? So I say,
Right.
well, I'm trying to help you whatever problem you have.
Right.
And it's working.
Right, right. Yeah, and not only that, just so you know, Julio has a property here in Houston right now that this past
Oh
weekend.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, this past weekend, this past weekend, Stan and I and the apprentice students had our deal making weekend, and so so we got together here in Houston, and we auctioned off Julio's house here in Houston, and Stan showed me a picture of that house, Julio. It's pretty ugly looking.
Oh yeah.
You know, and it needs some repairs, and the team went to work and you know and clean up the house and make it possible to show, and we found a buyer. We found a buyer. Hopefully, Stan will get on later on to show you guys the pictures and the signs and stuff that we use for that property. But yeah, we find a buyer. The buyer's going to put $2,000 down. Plus, we're going to also get $8,000 from the tax credit as well. So that's a total of $10,000 for this deal. Now we're letting the seller keep the $2,000, right? Right, Julio?
I think so.
Yeah. We're
Tim,
letting the seller keep the $2,000, and we're going to keep the $8,000 from the tax credit.
That's fine because he, besides probably, I don't know if the students know about this, that he have at least 12 or 20 more property available.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
So that's the beauty.
Yeah, Stan told me that he's really excited today. You know, he's doing whatever he can in his power as well to help this new buyer get into the house. And then Stan told me that he's the next house that he's going to have us do for him is the one down in Pasadena, and he gave us a $14,000 discount on the Pasadena one, so it give us more room to be able to sell it too. And so just awesome, And so I mean, from that one deal, from that one phone call that you made to that seller, and now we got the house sold, and now we're going to sell 12 more properties for him. So
absolutely.
Just awesome.
Tim,
awesome.
something I would like to share. You gave us a task to write down yesterday, because I was a little busy yesterday, about you write down your accomplishment you did in your life. So I started just writing down. Since I was 7 years old when I started selling my first stickers in the street. So I feel so good for every simple thing like I did when I was a child, when I was in the elementary school and went in the high school. I honestly, I feel all those accomplishments, they empower my energy, my soul. I feel like a real warrior, like a champion, like an Inca in South America, and say, you know what? Let's nail this business and make something different today, and it works. Absolutely, it works.
That's good. That's good. I like that. Yeah. So, so awesome job. I can't congratulate you enough. You've been you've been just phenomenal. So keep up the good work. Okay.
And thank you to you. Thank you to you, my friend.
All right, Julio. And before I mute you, tell everybody to make sure they get on the show tomorrow and every day, every morning.
Oh yes, for sure. I invite you. I invite everybody, and you can invite friends. Believe me, it's an amazing chance that take it like a holiday present, like a present you give to yourself and to your friends, instead of probably you can spend any greeting card or something like that. But at least something like it's gonna help you a lot, and personally in your mindset. And when your mindset start working a different way, you can accomplish so many things. Believe me, I'm telling you, probably I'm just a small testimony of what is working every day, and I feel totally different. I encourage you, attend and make a little time during 8 to 9 and listen to Happy Hour TV.
Right, and of course participate too.
Exactly. I'm gonna call everybody tomorrow.
Awesome. All right, Julio. Thanks, buddy.
No, thank you.
Okay. All right, everybody. Before I answer your question, I saw your question there, Jason. I'm going to do a little bit of teaching, then go through and answer your questions. Okay. What I want to teach you guys today is about the law of urgency. Okay, the law of urgency, and number one, here's the disclaimer. Disclaimer is there's no such law out there existed. Okay, this is a law that I made up, but it's going to make total sense to you once I explain it to you. Okay, and the law of urgency says something like this, or the law of urgency goes something like this. The law of urgency says, in my definition, is that when it's urgent, you act. Okay, when it's urgent, when there's something that's urgent, you will act. Okay, and what that means is that in your life, if you look back at any time in your life, okay, and if you look back at any time in your life, and any time that you accomplish a lot, think about it. What happened? What happened that made you accomplish a lot? Think about the day before you go on a vacation. Okay? Think about the day before you have a deadline. All right? You will, I'm sure, like myself, a lot of you are probably going to realize that those are the days that you get the most things done. You accomplish the most. You just act. You just implement. You're just taking action, and nothing gets in your way. You don't even think about anything else. Okay, you don't even think about anything else. And so that's what the law of urgency is that when it's urgent, you get off your butt and act. Okay, and you know, and because of that, everything that everything that you do in your life, it's important that you give yourself a deadline. Okay, you give yourself a deadline, and you act as if it is urgent. You act as if it is urgent. Okay, and this same concept, the same law is applicable to you, to the to other students. It's applicable to the sellers and the buyers. Okay, and if you just understand that concept and carry it on to other part of your business, you're going to do really well. And here's what I mean. You see, whenever whenever you talk to sellers and talk to buyers, if you want to get the most, if you want to get the fastest response from them, if you want to get the most results from your sellers and buyers, you want to use this law of urgency. Okay, so when you talk to sellers, here's what I want you to do. I want you to tell the seller that you are that you and your team are doing an event this weekend. Okay, I don't care if you're gonna do a deal making event or not, but use those kind of language, and it sort of force you to do it too. But you tell the seller this. Okay, Mrs. Seller, my team and I are doing an event this weekend, and our goal is to sell a couple houses this weekend, and we really would like to have your house to be one of the ones that we'll have sold this weekend. Okay, we're doing a big event. We're doing a massive marketing campaign. Okay, depending on whether or not you have done one of these before, you can go more detailed in what you're gonna do, but basically, you tell them that we're doing a big marketing campaign. We're gonna get anywhere from 10 to 50 buyers that's gonna come to look at the house this weekend. And so it's important that if they want to get the house sold this weekend, that they cooperate with you, okay, and get the paperwork back to you as soon as possible. Get the flex option back to you as soon as possible, so you can go to work and start preparing their house, get it ready for the weekend for your event. Okay, and so when you talk to sellers, very, very important that you tell them that way. Now, if you talk to them and the event is not until next weekend, that's fine. You can tell them, we're doing a big event next weekend, and so we need to prepare for it ahead of time. It takes us a week to a week and a half to prepare for this. So it's very important that you get me the paperwork back as soon as possible. We have to start. We have to start our marketing campaign and start getting our advertising out, because we're going to have a lot of buyers coming to look at your house during our event. So it's very important that you get me the information I need. You get me the flex option back or the contract back. If you want your house to be one of the ones we get sold during our event, it's important that you cooperate with me. Okay, you notice what I've just done. Okay, I have just built that law of urgency to make sure that to make sure that the seller act and work with me. Okay, because if you just leave it up to them to send you back the paperwork anytime they want, what's going to happen? Well, what's most likely is going to happen is that they, in their mind, they're going to think, oh, I'll get around to it. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll get around to doing it tomorrow, and then another tomorrow, and then another tomorrow, and then next thing you know, then they're not sending they're not sending the stuff back to you. Okay, so it's very, very important that you build in that urgency so you can get them to act and get the stuff back to you as soon as possible. Okay, and then the same thing on the buyer side. When you're dealing with the buyer, you also have to tell them, like, I am doing I'm doing an auction this weekend, and I'm going to sell the house to the highest and best offer. Okay, I'm going to sell the house to the highest and best offer. If in case you're doing these owner financing deals like we are doing, then you tell them that the down payment starts at only $1,000 down, and so we're looking for whoever that can give us the highest and most down payment. That's the person that we're going to sell the house to. Okay, and and so when you do that, when you tell your buyers that, and your buyers knows that you're desperate to sell the house, and because you really are, right? You want to get paid on it, and so you want to make sure your buyers know that you are desperate to sell the house. You're going to do whatever it takes to sell the house, and so because of that, so because of that, you need them to go and look at the property as soon as possible. You need them to make an offer right away, okay? Because on Sunday night you're going to sell it to the highest and best offer, okay? And I'm using Sunday night as an example. You certainly can do this on a weekday too if you don't have time to do it on a weekend, okay? I'll give you an example. Like next week is Christmas, right? And next week is Christmas, and so so if we don't get around to doing if we don't get around to doing an auction this weekend, I have a property, and my assistant is planning to go out of town this weekend, and so I told her, okay, well, since you're going out of town, you can do this on Thursday evening and Friday evening. Okay, so you can do this on a weekday too. You don't have to wait until Saturday and Sunday to do it. And so but the point being is that the mindset stays the same. The mindset stays the same. And the mindset is that it's urgent that they must act. They must make you an offer. They must they must hurry up and look at the house before they lose it. Okay, and so it's very, very important that you use this law of urgency in everything that you do. Kind of like what happened to Julio today. Okay, Julio told himself, like, today is the day. Today is the day that I'm just gonna act in spite of my fear. Today's the day that I'm just gonna make these offers. Today's the day that I'm just gonna make it crazy. Where at the end of the day, I can look back and says, you know what, I did it. Okay, so he the way he got himself to take action. The way that he got himself to take action, it's all because he decided to make the day his urgent day. That he has to do it today, not tomorrow. Not yesterday, okay? Today is, today is yesterday's tomorrow, and so do it today. And so that's what he did, So he kind of told himself to do it, kind of tricked himself to do it. Whatever it took, he just did it. Okay, so it's very, very important that you do that. You got to decide that today is the day that you're going to make these calls to the sellers. When we get off the webinars tonight, don't wait until tomorrow. Just get on the phone. It's pretty early by the time we get off the webinar here. Just get on the phone and make that call. And and if you're scared, about making these calls, let me know, and I'll unmute you, and you can do a 3-way call to a seller, and I'll help you. Okay, and we can do that call on this webinar. So, but it's important that you act in spite of your fear. You act in spite of your fear, and just make it happen. Make it happen today. Okay, make it happen today. So that's the law of urgency, and that's how these deals work. Okay, that's how these deals work. Is that we get our houses sell quickly, all because we act with urgency. And that's how the deal making that we do. I mean, that's how the deal making works too. The deal making weekend is a weekend where we have the students come into Houston, and within that weekend, we have to buy and sell a house just that weekend. Okay, and so we don't have a lot of time. We don't have a lot of time, and so everything we do, we have to act with a lot of urgency. Okay, we have to act with a lot of urgency. We have to tell the seller that we're urgent. We have to tell the buyer that it's urgent, and that's how we get people to respond. Okay, so very, very important about this law of urgency. Now, what do you guys think so far about what I said about the law of urgency? You have anything you want to add to it? Any question about the law of urgency? Okay, you're more than welcome to ask that. Okay. All right, Fiona said she loves it. Awesome. I love Fiona. She loves everything I say. Thank you, Fiona. Yeah, and it's just so true. I mean, no need for you to take my word for it. Just take a look back at any time you have you have something urgent. The day before that something is due, whether you're going on vacation or a project is due, the day before, what happens to you? Okay, what happens to you? And so think about that. Okay, and Jason said, good concept, Tim. I currently have 8 houses on contract for wholesale and can't find buyers. Jason, the same thing. You want to use these law of urgency to those buyers. But the big thing about wholesale deals, okay, the big thing about wholesale deals is that it has a lot to do with price. It has a lot to do with price. If you have done your job and put out the signs to market those properties, okay, and post it on Craigslist to market those properties, if you have done both Craigslist and put out signs and you still haven't found a buyer, that means it's a high chance your price is too high. Okay, your price is too high. And so you need to go back to the seller and renegotiate that price down, because wholesale deal is all about price. It's not like these owner financing deals or a retail deal where the buyer is more interested in the house, interested in the house than they are about the price. Okay, and so you deal with retail buyers a little bit differently. But with wholesale deals that you're dealing with, that you're working on, price is very, very important. Okay, and so make sure you do your marketing correctly. Okay. Okay. Fiona said, procrastination is a life stealer. It is, certainly is. Right? Ron said, the law is true. Yes, it is. Audrey said, absolutely apply that law with every prospect I talk to. Good job, Audrey. I like knowing that I've closed someone somehow. Okay. Okay. Let me see here. Fiona said, wrong action or inaction steals our confidence and focus. What is that sound? Stan, is that you?
Hey man, what's on?
You came on and I hear the music right away. I'm like, what is that?
My wife's playing violin. Okay, let me shut the door. Hang on.
All right. Okay. Okay. Let me see here. Ron said, I just went to Arizona recently and was up all night to get my to-do list down, but I got it down just before my ride to the. I got it done just before my ride to the airport arrived. Yeah, exactly. Okay. All right. So here's when you apply this law of urgency to what you do in real estate, Another thing that I want to teach you on top of that, okay? And I haven't come out with a law for it, but I guess. You know what? Let's call it the law of sowing and reaping. All right, since we're into law right now, and so the next law I want to teach you is the law of sowing and reaping. And the law of sowing and reaping says something like this, okay? That you reap what you sow. Okay, you reap what you sow. If you don't sow, you won't reap. Okay, and with these houses that you do, with every single deal that you do, keep in mind that there are money to be made way beyond that deal itself. Yes, you can do that deal. You can make some money on that deal. However, a lot more money is made with what happens beyond that deal. What happened beyond that deal? You have to learn to leverage. Okay, you have to learn to leverage yourself. You have to learn to leverage your marketing, and what happens when you do when you do one of these events that I'm talking about, where you do a lot of marketing, you get the buyers to come look at the property. You get the buyer to come look at the property, and bid on how much they want to offer you. What's going to happen is that you're going to end up, not only you're going to sell that house, but even if you don't sell that house, what you're going to end up is you're going to end up with a buyer's list, okay? And that buyer's list is much, much more important, okay, than that one deal that you just sold, okay? Because now with that buyer's list, you can go find them more houses and sell them more houses, okay? I'll give you an example. Let's say, let's say you do an event, and let's say you do an event, and you have 10 buyers coming to look at the house, okay? And let's just say, and let's just say, you end up having, out of those 10 buyers, you're going to have some of them are investor buyers where they're looking for investment properties, and some of them are homeowner, owner-occupant buyers. Okay, so once you're done selling that house, you can then go back to that buyers list and said, okay, buyers, you were interested in my house on X street. Okay, that one is no longer available. It's already sold. However, I can get you another house in that neighborhood. Okay, are you still interested in the house in that neighborhood? Okay, how much can you put down? What can you pay per month? Or if it's an investor, how much cash do you have? How quickly can you close? And then what you then do is you're going to then drive that neighborhood, look for sale by owners, look for rent by owners, or even look online if you can find a house in that neighborhood, and you can sell it to these buyers that had already came to one of your other house and are interested in buying. And so now you can shortcut your way to your success. You can totally shortcut the time that it takes for you to do one of these houses and sell another house. You don't need to do another event to sell the house. You can sell it to one of the buyers that came in, even if they only have $1,000 down. It doesn't matter, because $1,000 plus the $8,000 tax credit, that's $9,000. Okay, So now you end up, so once you market one house for sale, you're going to have a buyer's list, which will then allow you to now start looking for a house for those buyers instead of trying to look for buyers for a house. And I can tell you this, it's always, always much easier to find a house for a buyer than it is to find a buyer for a house, okay? And so, so you can make money way beyond that one deal that you're doing, way beyond that one deal that you're doing. And not only that, but the seller that you're dealing with, right, if they're happy with you on one deal, chances are, especially if you're dealing with a landlord type of seller, they're going to have more deals for you. They're going to have more properties for you, okay? and that has happened. It happened with Julio. It happened on another deal that we did last month on the last deal making weekend. And it's going to happen more and more, and and even like with Julio, one of his sellers today, right, where the lady said she has 4 properties, okay, and so once you do one of these deals, and you do what you tell people you're gonna do, you do what and the seller can see that you're working hard and you actually are getting the property sold, and you actually are marketing the property. They're gonna love doing business with you, and either they have more properties and they'll let you sell more of their properties, or they'll refer their friends and people that they know to you. So so keep in mind that every single deal that you do goes way beyond just that one deal, way beyond just that one deal. And that's not just applicable to real estate. That's applicable to everything in life, okay? You might have a goal to make $1 million, okay? You might have a goal to make $1 million, but you have to, you have to realize that on your way to making that $1 million, the person that you're going to become is going to attract a whole lot more opportunities for you. The side effects that you're going to get in achieving your goal, the side effect in you marketing that house for sale or achieving your goals is much greater, much better than that goal itself and that deal itself. Okay, that's why it's so important for you to take action, because when you take action, more opportunities are just going to come your way. That's just the way the universe works. If you go outside, okay, if you go outside, and let's say there's this, I don't know, go out to your garden or your, if you have flowers in your landscape or whatever, if you move your hand, not only, when you take action and make that movement, you're going to see that movement creates energy and wind, and it'll move other things, move other flowers, move other pollens, and that's just how things work in the universe of taking action. They talk about how one butterfly flap its wings on one side of the world can create a tsunami on the other side of the world, and that's called a butterfly effect. Same thing happens to your action. When you take one little action, okay, the side effect of that one little action is just humongous. More and more things that's going to come your way and allows you to not only meet your goals, but to achieve way more than what you set out as your initial goal to do. Okay, and so keep in mind about the side effect, and I actually love the side effect a lot more than the goal itself. Okay, because the side effects is the one that takes me to make to make a whole lot more money, or to achieve a whole lot more than what I had initially set out as my goal. Okay, and so it's very important that you apply this law of urgency, you apply this law of sowing and reaping, and realize this side effect of what happens when you sow, what happens when you start taking that action. Okay, Stan, are you available now? Stan. All right, see, probably step out, so when he comes back.
I was just muted. I just muted myself. Hey, how are you?
Doing awesome. How was your trip to the airport?
It was wonderful. We took my stiff-legged dog to the kennel, so we're ready to go.
Oh, cool. That's right. You're leaving tomorrow morning.
Yes, sir. Going to Chicago. Warm weather of Chicago.
Have you finished packing yet?
No, we haven't even started.
Okay, so this law of urgency is going to apply to you pretty soon here.
Okay, yeah, we got to eat first. We got to get our priorities straight.
Awesome, awesome. So, I wanted you to share with everybody what happened this weekend. How we used the law of urgency and took action on one of the houses, and yeah, just share with everybody what happened.
Hey guys, how are you? What we did this weekend is we had our monthly deal making weekend, and we had about 6 people here this weekend, and it was a great time, and we had a ton of fun and laughed and cut up and sold a house, and just had a great time. So here's what happened. Let me get to where you can see my screen. We had this beauty right here. You guys can see that. So, can you see that yet, Tim? There we go. That little beauty right there was the house that we auctioned this weekend. And what we ended up doing is, this is Julio's house. Julio was here for the last deal-making weekend, and he got this house off of a bandit sign. So we were just driving around, Julio and I were, and I said, hey, man, call that bandit sign right there and see if he has any houses. And this particular investor has this house. Then Julio's got another one of his houses in South Houston, and he's got another 11 beyond this. So I talked to him today, and he's ready to start doing these 11 weekends in a row. So he's really ready to go. So it turned out really well for him and well for us. But what we did is, basically, this house is in Spring, Texas, and it was I told Tim, I said, this house is rough, and rough is a nice word for it. But you can see these like these blinds over here, they're pretty much messed up. The landscaping is awesome, isn't it? Just awesome, and especially this spot right here, that's turned out really good. But it was pretty rough. It had holes in the walls, it had big chunks of carpet missing, and it was pretty rough. So what we did is, on Friday afternoon, we got everybody that was on the team. There were 6 of us, and we had 2 of them inside cleaning, and the other 4 of us went out and put out signs. And when I say we put out signs, I mean we did the Tim Mai method of putting out signs. We put out about a couple of 100 signs, and we scoured this area. I mean, it was like every 2 blocks there was a yellow sign saying, come to this house. So Saturday morning we got here about 9 o'clock. We finished doing the cleaning. We finished doing the staging on it. The staging is things like, we put towels in the bathroom, just little things, put some knickknacks on the counters. There's a little blocks that say welcome, spell out welcome, put that on the fireplace, just little things like that. But it really makes a difference when you're having an open house, and it's really small things. But anyhow, we did that on Saturday, and then after we got that going pretty well, and the house was open, we left 1 person there, and then we went around and put some more signs out. Let me show you some of these other signs. So you see that this is our house, and we were taking these 3-bedroom, 2-bath signs, and Eunice is one of our new students. Eunice decided that she wanted to go nail these to trees on vacant houses. And so Eunice would hop out of the car with her nails, and she popped a bunch of these on trees. And surprisingly, we get a lot of phone calls off of this. So the 3-bedroom, 2-bath, we put about 20 of those out on vacant houses only around the subdivision, and then had our phone number, and that went really well. We also had this big sign in the front that covered the garage that Tim made, and it's a great sign, and it attracts a lot of attention, turned out really well. And then we had these signs placed all over the streets and the highways in about a 3-mile radius. So we kind of took the major intersections and then put out about 150 of these signs, and we put them in Spanish and in English. I showed the Spanish ones as well. And that's what we did, and we ended up with about 5 or 6 investors stopping by. And the best part about that is they were not necessarily interested in this house, but they were looking for houses to buy that were like this house. And we had this one priced at a retail level. They were looking more at a wholesale deal. But now we've got 5 or 6 more investors that are looking for short sales for us, and we've got 5 or 6 investors that we've got looking for houses as well. And I think Willie, who's over in Katy, I think he's going to sell a house to one of these investors. He's got 2 of those $50,000 houses, $60,000 houses, and one of these investors has about $70,000 cash. So it looks like he may be able to make a deal out of that. So we did that, and then we ended up driving for dollars, and driving for dollars means we go around calling them for sale by owners or for rent by owners in the neighborhood. And we picked up another investor, and he wants his house to start off next week, so we're going to do it again next week. I get back from Chicago Friday afternoon, and we're going to do it Friday afternoon, Saturday, and Sunday. We'll sell another one next week. But this particular house.
You mean this week? This week.
Yeah, this week in the next few days. Yeah, thank you. This particular house, let me go to the beginning. This house sold for $105,000. We're doing a 36-month wraparound mortgage on it, so there'll be a balloon payment due in 36 months. Payments are $950 a month, and the seller is going to give them allowance for carpet and paint and some interior touch-up work, some mini blinds and that kind of thing. So it turned out really well for him. He's really ready to move it. It turned out great for the people that were moving in because they can't get a loan anywhere else. They got a pretty nice house. And this, for the neighborhood, it's comparable to everybody else's house, and it's going to have new paint and new carpet. It'll be a great place for them and their kids. So that's what it did. It turned out really well, and what makes the deal-making weekend really, really the best is that we're pushing each other to keep working and to keep moving forward. So if one of our ideas doesn't quite work, that's okay. We'll just do 2 or 3 others. So that's what makes the deal-making weekend good is that, A, everybody depends on each other. So that when I say, well, I don't feel like putting out signs, well, I've got 5 other people depending on me to put out signs, so we get it done. And then and there's a sense of urgency that we have to sell this house this weekend. And so far we've had quite a few of these, 7 or 8 of these, and we've always been successful getting a contract on a house. So anyhow, that's the sense of urgency that is in practice, man. You can see it straight out. So that's what we did, Tim. It was a great time, and you saw us last night laughing and cutting up and having a good time. So you know we had fun.
Right. And not only on top of that, but one of our students, April, also found a deal. As the weekend went by, too, right?
That's correct. Yeah, she got the deal for next week, and this particular investor has 3 houses, and we're going to auction one of his off next week, and then if it goes real well, and it will, then he'll give us his other 2. Just like this guy said, if you can do this house in a week, we'll give you the other 11. Right,
exactly. Awesome, yeah. And see, folks, I mean, there's really nothing more to it than just taking action and see what comes out of it. And almost always the result that you're going to get is going to be positive. And even if you don't sell that one house, you're going to have access to those buyers to sell other houses to them. And so, very, very important that you go out there and take action on it. Okay. So let's.
Tim, I had another investor call me today, and they said that they were doing the exact same thing out in Katy, and they didn't sell their house. I said, well, how many bandit signs you put out? They said, we put out a lot this time. I mean, a whole lot. We put out like 8 or 9 this time. And I said, 8 or 9, you need to be putting out about 150 to 160. And you'll find your example that'll work really way better.
Yeah, I always chuckle at people when I ask them, so how many signs you put out? I was like, well, Tim, it didn't work. Well, how many signs you put out? Look, the bottom line is this, okay? The more signs you put out, the more chances you're going to be able to get that house sold, okay? And so why not play to win? If you're already going to play, if you're already going to put out the effort to do an open house and to sell the house, then why not play to win? And the way you play to win is you do as much of the marketing as you can, okay? You do as much of marketing as you can. Don't stop at just a few signs. Don't be a sissy like a lot of realtors do and just put out a couple of signs for the open house and that's it. Okay, that's a sure way not to sell your house.
Absolutely.
All right. Let me see here. Jason had a question about the tax credit. Hi, Tim. My CPA said it takes 14 to 16 weeks to get the $8,000 tax credit. This is an issue with the sellers. Well, I don't know why your CPA is telling you it is taking that long. Do you know if he's thinking about filing the 2009 taxes and not amending the 2008 taxes? And also, is he thinking about filing paper and not filing it electronically? Because when you file it electronically, it's very quick. And so I don't know if your CPA is giving you misinformation or not, but I mean, 13 of 16 weeks is a long, long time. And even if it, and the way the way the IRS works is that if they take longer to send you the check, they pay you interest on it. So you might end up getting a check for more than $8,000, okay, because of the interest that they'll pay you on that, okay. So so you might want to check with that. And the second thing I would want to ask your seller is this. Okay, Mr. Seller, let's say even if it did take 13 to how many months is 13 to 6? Is that 4 months? 3 to 4 months?
It's 3 months. 3 months
okay.
and a week.
Yeah, 3 to 4 months. So you ask the seller this, okay? It normally doesn't take that long. However, even if it did take that long for that down payment, okay, the seller's going to get some of the down payment from the buyer now, and then some more when the tax credit comes. So you ask that seller, okay, what are your other choice right now? Your other choice is to not sell their house right now to this buyer, and continue to leave it on the market, and hopefully to try to find a buyer that can get a conventional loan, and even if the buyer can find a conventional loan, that still takes at least 30 days to close, okay? And who knows how many months before you find a buyer with a conventional loan. And so what are the chances? What are the other options that the seller have? They don't really have a whole lot of options. Ask them, how long have they been trying to sell their house already, and they haven't gotten it sold. And so it's best if they just, best if they just do this. And even if they have to borrow, their friends and family's money for whatever they need right now, they can pay them back when the tax credit comes. But I don't know how you're structuring these deals also, because the way we structure them, we make our money from the $8,000 tax credit. And so the seller, for us, the seller wouldn't even care how long it's going to take for them to get the $8,000 tax credit. It's something that we have to care about, okay? And so, so you might want to check with the seller that, Jason. And then, you mentioned also you have 8 properties you're trying to wholesale, and you can't find a buyer. So tell me and Stan more of what you have been doing, and I'll probably unmute you here to see what you have been doing, and see if you can get see if you can renegotiate to get that price down some more. Okay? Do you have a CPA to recommend, Stan? Can you share that with them?
Yeah, we use our guy in Indiana. I'll have to find that out. Give me a few seconds.
Okay. All right, Jason, I'm going to unmute you, buddy. Hopefully you have a mic. Jason, are you there? You have a mic? Okay. I can hear something, so I'm assuming you. Well, I don't know if it's you I'm hearing. If you don't have a mic, can you switch over to telephone mode and call in, please? Okay, I want to talk about the deals that you have right now. So if you can do that, switch over to the telephone mode and call in so I can talk to you about that. Okay. Julio said that butterfly effect I was talking about was the ripple effect. Yeah, the ripple effect. I need to come up with a cooler name for that. I don't know. I'm just gonna call it the tsunami effect. Sounds cool. Good thing we don't have tsunamis here. We have hurricanes, but I wonder what's the difference between a hurricane and a tsunami. Anybody know?
Tsunami's a giant wave, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
Well, right. Hurricane's like a lot of wind.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. So, all right. Okay, let me see here. I am going to unmute you here, Jason. All right, Jason.
Yeah. Hi, Tim. How are you?
Doing great, buddy. How are you?
Good, good. Yeah, I have I have several properties on contract right now. The main thing with the owner financing I'm having an issue with is that the sellers are always requesting some money down.
Which is fine. We request that money down from our buyers too. So how much money are you talking about that your seller's expecting down?
Well, one of them right now, I have a seller that he wants to offer me his eightplex. He has an eightplex, and he wants $4,000 down. And
well, an eightplex is not going to work on these first-time home buyers because it's not a single-family home anymore.
Right. Yeah. I know. I'm just giving you one example. I know this is not it's not something that the first-time home buyer program will work. But yeah, with the owner finance deals, I'm just trying to think of what, as far as earnest deposit for the seller, how long should I tell them? How long would it take me to get the new buyer in there? What type of spread are we recommending to the sellers? If they want $2,000 down, when do we tell them they'll get their $2,000?
Well, actually, Stan, you want to take this one? Because like what did you tell the seller on this house that you have this picture on?
Hang on, you got me doing two things at once. Keep talking.
Okay.
Okay, say it all again, please.
Yeah. So Jason is asking, what are you telling the seller? When are you giving them the $2,000 down?
At closing.
And when is the closing?
Well, whenever we get it with the title company, get the title policy done, and everything like that.
Okay. So what are you telling the seller when you initially talk to the seller? What are you doing? How long before you can find a buyer?
Yeah, are you doing a double closing? Because you're gonna need the new buyer, the new first-time home buyer.
Right. Here's what we're doing. Well, the words that we're using are, when we're calling them, is we say, listen, we usually make the down payment as our fee. Is that okay? And then you have to listen. You got to let them chew on that, think about it. If they say, no, I need $15,000 down, then we would say, gosh, in this market, that's going to be kind of a trick. That's just going to be kind of a difficult thing to do. The less you can get down, the better it's going to be, and the quicker it's going to move. So if we could make this house move for you like today, what's the least you need to have down? Okay, I'll take $5,000 down, and then we would go market it from there, and I would give it a week, and then call him back in about 4 or 5 days and say, listen, our whole team of VAs and our whole team of people have marketed your property. Let's do this. It's a $100,000 house. Why don't we make your house $105,000 and make the down payment smaller? Okay, you guys see what I just did? I took $100,000. I took the $5,000 that he was wanting, and I tagged it onto the back of that and added it to the price. So what we'll do is we'll get somewhere between $0 and $5,000 down total, which will be our fee. And then if it comes to it, we can take some money out of the $8,000 tax credit, or you can get your money when you close it in 3 years. So I just kind of move the numbers around until we find a way to make it match.
Yeah, but bottom line is this, Jason, is that you tell the seller that you're doing this event, and your goal is to try to get the house sold, during that event. So it could be this weekend, next weekend, whenever that weekend is. Okay. And so you're going to tell them that you don't make money until this house gets sold, and so
right.
you're going to do whatever in your power to try to sell it as soon as possible. Okay.
Okay. So this is just a verbal, just verbally, nothing is being signed at this point, right?
Right. Nothing is being signed until we actually do find a buyer.
Okay.
I mean, the flex option is being signed, but
right.
other than the flex option, there's no contract signed for an actual closing date.
Okay, so you're using the flex option for so the flex option should be used for these before we actually find a buyer, right?
Yeah, you have to do the flex option.
Okay.
Right, you have to have the right to sell the property first.
Right.
Okay. And with the flex option, you're using like a $10.
No, with a flex option, you don't have to give them any option fee at all.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense then. Okay.
Okay, and now if you do use a contract, you still can use a contract to do this. If you use a contract, you just put it for a 30-day closing, and so you're gonna tell the seller that, hey, look, I'm gonna try to close this, within 30 days. Okay, it might be a lot quicker, it might be a couple weeks, or it might can go out for the whole 30 days. But we're just gonna put 30 days just to be safe. So you can tell them that. You can tell them that the closing is gonna happen in 30 days. And then, if 30 days come around and the closing is not happening, you can always request them for an extension. It's very easy to do that.
Well, yeah, that's kind of what I have going on, too, with these 7 other contracts I have filed. But they're all basic standard and purchase contracts.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. You can use a normal contract also, and you just put it for 30 days and then extend it as you need it. So what about these eight wholesale deals you're talking about? What is the value? What is the price? Why do you think it's not sold yet?
Well, I don't. Some of these are foreclosures. Some of these are from Freddie Mac. I have a contract right now with Freddie Mac for a foreclosure home, 3-bedroom, 1-bath ranch. It just came out on the market, and it's appraised at $96,000, and I got it under contract for $32,000, and I'm always trying to sell it for $38,000.
How much in repairs?
The repairs about $3,000 or less.
Okay, so that's pretty minimal. So,
yeah.
What kind of marketing have you done on them?
I haven't done much. I plan to do a whole lot more because I've been dealing with these other. I also have a duplex from a motivated seller.
I see.
It's a duplex that he was asking $74,000 for it. I got him to go down to $40,000. I have that on contract.
Cool.
And I'm trying to sell it for $58,000.
Okay. Yeah. Now that you got these properties in the contract, it's very, very important that you get really aggressive on the marketing to sell it. Because if you don't get aggressive on the marketing, just like how you got aggressive on getting them under contract, if you don't get aggressive on marketing to sell it, it's going to be very hard to sell, and then you end up losing your earnest money and stuff. So now it's time for you to put on a different hat and start marketing the heck out of these properties and try to get them sold.
And you think that one of the most effective ways is the bandit signs to get them sold, or you think the auction? Okay, the auction signs.
What we did over the weekend is we did a combination of the two, right? Bandit sign is just the medium that we're using, and then auction is the strategy that we're using. So they're not one and the same. If you can't do these auction on Freddie Mac's house or foreclosure house.
Right.
Because you don't have the right to do that. They're not going to let you do that. But you certainly can do that on the motivated seller's house or a normal homeowner's house. So you can just put out a lot of signs to try to sell the Freddie Mac house. You can do an auction. You just can't do the auction at the house, or like just through email if you want. You can just tell them, hey, go take a look at the house. I'm going to sell the house to the highest and best offer on Sunday night. So go look at it and give me and make me an offer. So you can do that. You just can't be at the house and try to do that, because if the agent finds out you're doing that, they might yell at you. But,
right. And then the other obstacle I have, Tim, is that the agent told me that the closing has to be their closing title.
Right.
So I'm not sure. This may have to be a little creative. Maybe I may have to buyer to wire me the funds first.
Well, if you can find a buyer that's willing to do that, that would be great. If you can't find a buyer that's going to do that, what you're going to have to do is I guess the easiest way to do it, and you want to check with your county about this, okay? The easiest way to do it is go get yourself a DBA, okay? So then before you close on it, you tell the agent, like, okay, agent, I've changed my mind about taking title under my own name. I want to take it under my company's name. So.
Oh, I already have it. All these properties are in my LLC name.
But it's not. It's just one LLC, right?
Yes.
But we're going to sell this LLC, so it's not. So it doesn't work. Okay. So,
I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna need to either sell the LLC or sell the DBA. Okay, so what you could do is you could go get a DBA for your LLC, and tell the real estate agent. And because it's Freddie Mac, they're more lenient with you than a normal bank, so it's okay. So you tell this agent, agent. I decided to take it under a different company's name than my current company's name. My CPA told me for tax liability, whatever reason you want to tell them that you need to switch it to a different company's name. And then at closing, your buyer is going to come in and sign the paperwork for that company. So right before closing, or even like right at closing, your buyer comes meet up with you. They're going to give you a cashier's check for your assignment fee, and they come in and sign the paperwork. And you're just going to tell the title company, this is my associate. He's going to be the one that's going to sign off for our company, and that's it. So the transaction is going to be transparent for the title company and for Freddie Mac and the real estate agent. And so there's only one closing that's going to happen between Freddie Mac and your DBA or your LLC that you can resell to that buyer, not the main LLC.
Okay. Now, if he's using a hard money lender, is there going to be any issue with that?
If he's using a hard money lender, then it's going to be best if you get an LLC and not a DBA for your LLC. And so the hard money lender is going to loan money on that LLC. So you got to make sure you explain everything to the hard money lender of what's going to go down. But
okay.
it does complicate the deal a little bit more, and it might delay your closing a little bit more. But you certainly can make it work. I mean, we recently closed on one not too long ago, and it's a very similar situation. And it was a big mess because the buyer switched to a different hard money lender, so there was like two hard money lenders involved. The hard money lender wasn't clear on how we were doing things, and then in the end, when we did close the thing, the hard money lender, instead of wiring the money to the title company, they sent a cashier's check to the title company, and the cashier's check got lost.
Oh wow!
I mean, it's like everything that can go wrong went wrong in that deal, and at the end we still closed the deal. We sent a $100 American Express gift card to the real estate agent, for the bank, and we sent another $100 gift card to her broker, just to keep both of them happy and send us more deals because it was such a big mess. I mean, it's just one of those deals, and those deals do happen. But the point is that you can persist through it. Okay, and you can make it happen, and so I'm telling you ahead of time what to do, so that way, your deal don't end up being like that. But yeah, I mean, as long as the hard money lender is clear on what you're doing, what you're trying to do, then you should have no problem at all.
Okay, and what's good, I have another LLC that I created about a month ago. I could probably use that. I just need to get a tax ID for it.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. Then sell that one.
Hey, Jason, are all these properties in the same town, same city?
That's Independence, Missouri, which is about 15 minutes from Kansas City.
So they're all in the same place, right?
Yeah, they're all in Independence, Missouri. That's correct.
Yeah, so I'd do that auction on one of those properties and use that buyer's list for those other two Freddie Mac houses.
Okay.
Yeah, you can do an auction on an owner financing house, Jason, and you just because it's an auction, you're automatically going to attract investor buyers to come and look at it. And so because you just even though you're doing an auction on owner financing house, you end up having a cash buyer for one of your one of your foreclosure houses.
Now, do you recommend I put anything in the paper, spend money for the paper, or just mostly banded signs for this?
It depends on your market. It sounds like you're in a smaller town, so your paper might work. One way to tell is look through the newspaper. Do you see a lot of ads? If you don't see a lot of ads, then it's probably not working well. So then don't bother to post the paper. But I say I have to be really careful with if you come from a town that a lot of people read the newspaper, then the paper works good. Okay, but if you come from a town where, like here in Houston, almost everybody migrated to Craigslist now, and so the newspaper ads, the classified ads section in our daily newspapers here, like barely have any listings anymore. And it doesn't cost that much money. So if this is the first time you're doing it, I would try it, run a newspaper, and make sure you track how many calls you get from the paper versus how many calls you get from the bandit signs. But yeah, bandit signs, Craigslist, and if Backpage is big in your area, then also Backpage. Try the newspapers, and just make sure that whenever somebody calls you, ask them where they're calling you from, where did they see your ad, so that way you know which one is working well, and then next time you can you can decide. I mean, I can tell you this much. I can tell you at least 80% of the calls you get are going to be from your bandit signs.
Absolutely.
Okay. Are you leveraging high school kids to put these signs up? Are you guys doing them yourself?
I normally hire a guy that can drive. I normally hire somebody that goes out there and put the signs up for me. Or for example, like the last time we put out a lot of signs, my assistant, her husband got laid off, and so instead of hiring someone else, it's like, well, why don't you just have your husband to put it out for us, and so we pay him. So I mean, you can be very flexible with that.
Okay.
For the deal making weekends that Stan and I do, then we do it ourselves because we want the students to gain the experience from it.
Right.
But beyond the deal making weekend, for the purpose of the students learning it, then no, we avoid doing it ourselves. Yeah.
Okay, so that's what I'll do aggressively now, because I just got the signs from Bandit.com. They just came in last week. I got I got 100 signs. So.
Okay, that's perfect.
That's what I'll start, having them put out, and because I really got to get these properties moving. Now I got them under contract. They're great deals. I just got to move them now. So.
Right. Now, are you doing like blank signs and you write on them, or do you have them printed?
They're printed already.
Okay, grab some that are blank and just write on there like desperate, must sell 322, and then a phone number.
Right.
Just make it.
Those handwriting signs works really well too. So, definitely do that. What does your sign say on it right now?
They say, and I think this is what you recommended, Tim. They say 2 to 3 bedroom, 1 bath, owner financing available, and then call my number.
Okay, that's good.
All right.
So it's for the owner financing deals. Okay.
Right. But I think you had mentioned when you have these signs up, you'll get calls. Not only will the conversation be about owner finance, it could be about any other deal, right?
Right.
I mean, because these could be investors that say, hey, what else do you have? What do you have?
Right.
So the conversation could go, in any way,
Right. Right.
So it's so that's what I got. But I can go get some other signs too, as you had mentioned. Must sell. I can get those made up tomorrow as well and put those out.
Yeah, if you're gonna have it print, ask them to print in handwriting fonts for you. Okay.
Okay.
So what you're trying to do is make it look like a garage sale. So that's the kind of signs the investors call on. You know what I'm saying? So if it looks like it's my wife and I are in trouble and we need to get rid of our house, then we would take the cheapest method possible, which is a sign and a Marks-a-Lot.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sure there's some local shops that can create. Do you guys just buy the paper and write on them, or you go to a local shop in your area that sells you the paper or whatever?
Yeah, we buy those blank plastic signs.
Okay.
So let me show this one. So this sign this sign is just, Tim, I got these on special. These were like 30 cents a piece because they were Halloween color.
Right.
And the little lines go the wrong ways. It's not yellow, they're red, and the lines are going up and down instead of, left to right. So I got them really cheap.
Right. That's good. Yeah, and on vacant houses, these signs are fine. You don't need the yellow one, and so that work just as fine. So 30 cents each, that's cheap. That's good.
Very cheap, yeah. You cut them in half, so you'd have 15 cents a piece. Look at that. It's all about it.
Awesome. All right, Jason. Well, yeah, definitely go to work and get aggressive at marketing them for sale. Okay. And Jason, Julio wanted your contact info. He might he have some buyers that are interested in multifamily. So he might be able to refer you a buyer. I will.
You want me to give you my number here?
Yeah, just give your number, and Julio, make sure you write it down. Go ahead.
Okay, I just.
Oh, okay.
Okay, it's 81. Oh, okay. I just sent it out there I typed it in. Do you want me to mention it here?
No, that's fine. So check your chat, people. Jason sent his number out to you. So Julio, see if you got that or not. That's cool. All right, awesome. All right, Jason. Well, good talking to you, buddy. And
all right,
thank
you.
Good luck on those deals. Yeah, you're welcome. I'm gonna mute you out. Okay, we're gonna take a few more questions, and I have to go to my mother-in-law's house for dinner here. Aussie, I got your questions through the hotline. Man, you sent me such a long question. I got intimidated on answering them. Okay, let me see here. Let me notice. Stan, can you help me answer Gilda's question while I'm reading Aussie's questions? I can answer him after that.
Yeah, where are we?
Look at the bottom one. I think the last one.
Regarding the 3 houses in Chicago.
Right.
Yeah, so she has 3 houses in Chicago that are being sold for $137,000. The comps show them to be somewhere between 125 and 149. So an average of about 133. They've got them on the market for 135. So is there any room to to make any money on them, right? They're absolutely pristine condition. There's nothing wrong with them. They're ready to move in. So what I would suggest to you is to do these as owner financing if they could do that. What they're wanting is a retail price. So there's 2 or 3 ways. Let's go way number 1. They get a retail price and you find the buyer. We have some students doing this now, and the realtor pays them some kind of a commission or some kind of a finder's fee. We have a young man who is in Missouri that is doing that with new homes, and he's pretty much a computer whiz, and so he finds the buyers, and the realtor pays him about 2% on every house, which is about $4,000. So that turns out really well for him. So there's a way for you. So if you can find a buyer that's got the cash or has that line of credit to get in there, then you can be paid a commission by working with the realtor or working with the seller. Okay. Secondly, would be then what I would want to do is owner financing on them. I think that's where the money is in them. And if I'm going to be in Chicago this week, I'm going to meet one of our students up there on Thursday. That would be fun to go talk about these houses. But what I would do is see if they would owner finance them, and if you could owner finance them, then you could get a piece of the down payment and the tax credit of $6,500 or $8,000. So I think that's the way to go on those. And then we also have a student that's doing that on newer homes or nice homes from a hard money lender, and what they're doing is they're doing financing on the house for 12 to 24 months, trying to get everybody's credit cleaned up a little bit, and then they will turn around and refinance that with their own company. So that works real well too. So does that make sense? There's a couple of ways for you to make money on that. So anyhow, if that's the way I would do it. And if they're brand new houses, then the builder could use their lender to owner finance those for a period of time, and then once you get the period of time finished, then you could go ahead and refinance. Okay. So that's what I would do with them, okay?
Okay, awesome. All right, R.C., let me answer your question here. So your first question here was about your ad. You wanted real estate agents to help sell owner financing homes. Change that to buyer's agent wanted, okay? So instead of saying real estate agent, say buyer's agent wanted, okay? And then your body of the ad says, local real estate investors seeking real estate agents to work with. I am interested in buying and quickly reselling single-family homes in the greater Memphis and DeSoto County, Missouri area. So say it this way. Say, local real estate investor seeking buyer's agent to help sell my owner financing homes, or help sell our owner financing homes. So make it sound like you already have these homes that you're trying to sell. Okay, so tweak your ad that way, and the rest of the ad is fine. So those are the couple of tweaks that you have to do. On doing the 50-50 JV split with Stan and I, whatever you pay to your agent, we're gonna pay them first, and then whatever is left we'll split. So if you pay 25% to your agent, let's say we make $8,000 on the deal, and you pay 25% to your agent, so they get $2,000. That means we have $6,000 left to split. Okay, so whatever expenses that you have, it's gonna be you're gonna be reimbursed for that first before the split. Okay, and so offering the agent 25% for that is not a bad deal. Not a bad deal. I think your agent's gonna love you for it. Okay, let me see here. And then the next question that you have is, let me see, the agent, they're gonna take applications, pre-qualified buyers to help coordinate closing. Okay. That sounds good. So just get the agents to, you can do the job of finding the seller and basically get the agent to run the auction for you, kind of like what we did with the deal making weekend, and then you can help the agent out in putting out the signs and have them run the open house for you. Okay. All right, and then And then you ask, do I know of any title company or attorney to close in Mississippi, Memphis, Tennessee area on these owner financing deals? I don't know of any. You're gonna have to just call around to find title companies that will do it. Okay. I talked to a closing attorney in my REIA group. He was downright against this strategy and said he would not do such closings in his office because of the risk of the due on sale clause that might be triggered from the seller's mortgage, and didn't want to be sued by either the buyer or the seller. He did not budge, even after I mentioned that we would do all the required disclosures in the property and properly pre-qualify the seller and the buyer. He wants the buyer to qualify for an FHA loan. This attorney turned out to be a bummer, while he was right from his point of view, because most members in this REIA group are rehabbers and buy conventional financing, hold type investors, and some do lease options. That's it. No one is hardly interested and talks about owner financing in this group. Okay. Everybody has the risk tolerant level, and so you just got to find a different title company that's going to do it. And of course, you do have to get proper disclosure to the seller and the buyer, and that's just keep on looking for another one. I mean, this attorney could be very conservative, and so he don't want to mess around with that. Okay. And I created a list of 7 leads for rent by owner, for sale by owner, by driving around today in DeSoto County, Missouri, and all except one were in the same subdivision and several on the same street. The one from a separate subdivision was about 30 minutes away. That was from Dudio's landlord-buyer section. I decided to do the Memphis, Tennessee, and area later, as it would involve a lot of driving, at least 2 hours round trip, and traffic not counting. Do the one that's near you. Okay, you're talking about the ones that you have all the properties in the same subdivision. That sounds like a good plan. You definitely should do that. Okay. And get one of those properties tied up and market and sell one of them, and then you end up selling the other ones too, from that same buyer source that you get. Okay, here's another question about the current version of the flex option in the bonus section of the Dudios members area. Is it okay to delete the word cash in the offer section, item number 3 in the list of terms and conditions of the flex option agreement? Are we not just noting that the seller's asking price here, and it is not necessarily an all-cash price? Yes, you can delete the word cash if you want. You can delete any of those words that you want. For the seller, the bottom line for the seller, is that they're gonna get cash sometimes in the end, right? So when the buyer cashed them out, so they just might not, they're just not getting the cash now. But yeah, if you feel that's confusing for the seller, or confusing for you, then certainly you can remove that word cash. Okay. All right. I hope that answers your question. On these owner financing deals, the best thing to do, the best way to deal with sellers to find landlord sellers, because landlord sellers, they understand the game. Okay, they understand about the due on sale clause, and they understand the risk that they have to take, and if the lender ever calls the loan due, there's a much higher chance that a landlord will be able to find the money, or to refinance, to find the money to pay for the house, okay, or refinance, versus a normal homeowner who doesn't understand, how the due on sale clause work. And so So, I mean, much better for you to deal with landlords than with sellers on these owner financing deals, on these wraparound mortgage or contract for deed. If you have to deal with sellers, that's fine. You have to have more explanations to do, but landlords are the better and easier way to go about it. Okay, and I think that's about it. Let me see here. Okay, Ron, who are you trying to meet? You trying to meet Stan, Ron?
Oh, it's been a while since I had somebody write me to want to meet. It's college.
Sounds good. All righty. Okay, everybody. Well, it was a great call today. It's great call today, and I really appreciate all of you coming on. And definitely join me on tomorrow's happy hour, and make sure you invite all of your friends, family, relative, everybody that's coming in for Christmas. Invite all of them on the call. Invite all of your buyers, your investor buyers list on the happy hour. Let them watch the show, and they're definitely gonna like you for referring that show to them, and they'll buy more houses from you. So awesome. All righty, Dan. Okay, well, do you have anything else you want to mention, Stan, before we?
No, sir, I'm great. Thank you so much for having me on tonight. I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you so much for being on. So I know you have to go and eat and pack and everything. So totally appreciate you. Okay, all right, everybody, have an awesome one. Bye bye. See you next week.
I'll see you.
Bye.